All right, hello and welcome to the San Jose State Weekly Football Press Conference. San Jose State returns home after a while. They'll be at home on October 2nd. New Mexico State, the opponent from CEFCU Stadium. The TV coverage will be on NBC Sports Bay Area, and our radio coverage will be on 860 AM KTRB. Kickoff at 6:30, the radio coverage starting at 7 o'clock. And also another update with another game. Colorado State, the game on October 9th, now has a kickoff time at 12:30 Pacific time, and the game will be televised on FS1. Tickets are available for the home game, 408-924-7589 or sjsuspartans.com, as we welcome in San Jose State head coach Brent Brennan.
All right. Hello, everybody. Busy weekend for us. Obviously today I'm repping San Jose State water polo. Coach Watson and his team had a really nice weekend with a big win, I believe, over Davis on Sunday. Also a lot of cool stuff happening here, right? Our swimming and diving had a good weekend, I think. And also women's volleyball, fantastic, right? Trent and that team played great. Obviously we did not play great at Western Michigan. They're a good team. They're well coached, and they just executed at a higher level than us, and that was disappointing. So we went through that the night of the game and yesterday some, and we're quickly moving on to getting ready for a good New Mexico State team. So we got a lot of work to do. That's obvious by watching the tape, and I love our team. I love how they came to work yesterday. Today is their day off, and so it gives us a chance to go into heavy game plan mode and put together our thoughts and ideas for how we want to play Saturday night. And we're excited to be coming home. We're excited. Last time we played at CEFCU Stadium, we had a great crowd. Hopefully we can duplicate that and get more and more people excited about Spartan football. So that's kind of my update, and let's go.
All right, we're going to go to Vitas first. Go ahead.
Coach, obviously the question that's in all our minds is the availability of Nick Starkel. I looked at the depth chart and it had or at quarterback for 4 different options that would, I'm guessing each of them would require a different kind of game plan. What's the quarterback's status for you for Saturday?
So, I don't talk about injuries. I have never done that. And we are, Nick's getting evaluated by our staff, and we got to get into the week and figure out how that's going to play out with practice. And so I'm not sure exactly who that's going to be. We're evaluating that as we go, and we'll see what it looks like later in the week. But it's not going to require a different game plan. That's not the thought process at all. Natano's played a little bit. Walker has played a little bit, so it's going to be, I think it's more of us coming up with a plan that we can execute at a high level, because we didn't do that against a good team on Saturday.
All right, Steve Kroner, go ahead.
Yeah, Brent, a quick follow-up on that, and then kind of maybe a larger general question. You didn't mention Nick Nash as one of the options. Was that just absentmindedly, or is he really not going to be an option at quarterback, at least to start against New Mexico State?
Oh, I would say that's absent-mindedly, although Nick's been starting at receiver for us.
Right.
So, we've been, our intent with Nick is to be able to keep him moving around and doing a bunch of stuff for us. But we got to get into practice tomorrow and see how all those pieces look and what we think gives us a chance to play well and move the football effectively on Saturday night, because we didn't do that in Michigan. So we obviously have our work cut out for us.
Yeah, kind of the larger question that relates to that. Last season, for the most part, your offense was prolific. You guys moved the ball up and down the field, scored a lot of points, were fun to watch. The past 3 games, your offense really has not been as prolific, has not been as much fun to watch. Do you have a specific 1 or 2 reasons why that is, and or how that's going to be corrected?
No, I think first I would agree with you that it hasn't been very fun to watch. I think it's a combination of some things. Obviously the departure of 2 really big playmakers on the perimeter, that's the obvious one. And then just kind of getting into the flow of the season and the timing and that part of it with Nick and our skill has been, a little bit all over the place. People played us a little bit differently this year than they have in years past. And so we're kind of adjusting to some of those things, and also coming up with some new scheme to try and attack the way the people are playing us. And so, that part of it, if it's been frustrating for you, trust me, it's been frustrating for us.
Fair enough. Thank you.
All right, over to Vic Aquino. Go ahead.
Yeah, hey Brent. So with all now remaining in-conference games, is there either some comfort level or new focus or significance versus like non-conference games? Just knowing that your remaining games are, are with familiar teams. So any thoughts?
Well, this one's not, right. This one, we're playing New Mexico State, right, and so they're not part of our conference, but I can tell you we're playing a good team. If you watch them play San Diego State a couple of weeks ago, it's a 10-7 game late in the third quarter. If you watch the Hawaii game over the weekend, even though that score got lopsided late, that was a close game, well into the third, early fourth quarter. So we know that we have a good team coming here. I think every team that we play this year is a good football team. And so we have to get ready to go. And it doesn't really matter who it is. We have to play good football. I thought our defense was awesome over the weekend. Just great effort, great tackling. I thought we put them in some tough situations with the turnovers, which is something we are working on aggressively. But who we play, it's not so much about them. It's about us and how we execute and how we prepare for, this next opponent.
Estevan, go ahead.
Yeah. Hey, Brett. With a injury like this, like a quarterback going down, how is the team feeling about that? Like, how do they move forward from that?
The team's in a great spot. Like I said, we had awesome work yesterday. I think that part of it is, people getting nicked up and people going through that stuff. That's all part of the college football season, right? And so, how you handle that, is based on, I think, how strong your team is and how strong that brotherhood is. And so they've been, Nick's in a good spot and they're working through it with our medical staff. And so like everyone's kind of just like, let's play. It doesn't matter who it is at quarterback, let's play.
Thank you.
Vitas, we're going back to you.
Coach, if Nick is unavailable to play, would we just find out Saturday at 7:30 to see who comes out in the huddle, or would we know ahead of time? And when would you like to settle the question as to who's going to be your quarterback, so the right person gets the most reps at practice?
We'll, like, when we get into practice, we'll evaluate that. And in terms of the decision, I got to see, like, Nick's still getting evaluated, like I've said. And again, this is the reason I don't talk about anyone getting injured, because everything we're talking about is the quarterback injury, right? And that takes away from what I think is the important thing, which is the game. And us having a home game for the first time in over a month, which is critical and awesome for our students and our fans in the city of San Jose. And so, that's really why I don't ever discuss injuries, because the whole focus of the entire week becomes about a injured player or a non-injured player, or what the status is of that player.
The other status of a player that I wanted to ask about, though, is Terrence Laville, because I don't see him on the depth chart after he started the season at top of it at wide receiver. So I don't know if we're going to see him in action, or if there's no comment about that either.
So Terrence is, where he's at on the depth chart is based on his performance in practice so far.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep.
Jackson Moore, we're going to you.
But just in referring to New Mexico State as a good team, just what are some of the things that stand out to you on film so far about them?
Well, if you watch them play on defense, they're incredibly active. They're long and they're tough and they run to the football. They've done a good job of, they mix up pressure and playing just sound, clean defense. I think when you watch them offensively, they got two quarterbacks. They're both a little bit different. So they have the, kind of that two quarterback thing is, you're preparing for two different things. And then they have a big time wide receiver. The running back is a good player. Their tight end played really well last week. So I think this is a good football team coming in here. And they've had, they've played good opponents. And, that part of it is, they've lost some of those games, but those people that they're playing against are good. And I think that's the reality of college football is that, 50% of the teams win or lose every week. And so, where they're at now, they're hungry to get another chance and to get a chance to come out here and play us.
All right, Steve Croner, do you have another question?
I don't.
Vic, over to you. Do you have a question?
Yeah, just a old question, but around the reffing, I know it's a touchy question, but there's just still so much inconsistencies that happen. Some that look, I don't know, they're just obvious or they're not. And then there's just this, I don't know, you can't explain it. And sometimes it just kind of ruins the flow, I think, even just for regular watchers and whatnot. Whether or not you're favoring the team or not, I mean, it's just something that, I don't know how you correct that, but just your view on it.
I don't think I can talk about that stuff. I think I get in trouble if I do, Vic. I'm just laughing. You know what? The one thing I can say about where we're at is really I can speak about us. And so far we have been penalized too much, and that's our own fault. So we have to work on that. And I think there's different type of penalties. I said that after our game on Saturday. I think there's penalties that are aggressive and tough, and like you're playing football and you're trying really hard, and there's a holding or something like that. But the stuff that is unacceptable to me is the procedure stuff, whether that's a false start or jumping off sides or a substitution problem or stuff like that. Those are the things that to me, those are really in our control, and we have to do a better job. I promise you, we will be dialing up the focus and the intent on eliminating those kind of pre-snap procedural penalties. We were better last week than we were the week before, but it's still not good enough. So this is the most penalized I've been as a head coach in my time since I've been here in 4 consecutive games, I would bet. And so that's something that I've been talking about with the team I'm talking about with staff with, and we have to find a way to play good, clean football. And we have not done that yet this year.
Kevin, over to you.
So, Coach, talk about the defense. It just seems like they're so close to getting a couple of interceptions in a game that swings it your way. And I keep looking at my stats week after week and going, the alignment looks good, the assignment looks good, the execution's there. It almost just kind of feels like the ball hasn't bounced our way on defense, or is there something I'm missing? I mean, we just keep chopping here and turnovers. We should start to get a few, right?
I hope so. I absolutely hope so. And I think you're right. I love the effort that our defense is playing with. The population we're getting at the point of attack or at the football. I think those guys are really, really, they're having fun playing. I think the defensive staff has done a great job coaching them and giving them a chance to be in a good spot. And if I had to say like anything that is, maybe the most troubling over the last 3 weeks would be just our turnover margin, right? Like what has happened offensively and defensively, we're there and we get our hands on a tip ball or we caused 2 fumbles yesterday on Saturday, and there's someone there to pick it up and run with it. Like, I'm like, what the heck is that? So we just, yes, we need the ball to bounce our way a little bit, but that fanatical effort and that, ball awareness, I think will lead to hopefully forcing some turnovers as we keep playing.
And then can I ask you about the Egett brothers? You got a quarterback for the Spartans and got a quarterback for the Aggies. Probably got to be the first time in your career where you've had a brother combo at quarterback, same position. Kind of cool.
No, really cool. And they're both awesome kids. And we knew Weston when he was coming out, and we're happy that we got Walker here with us. So I'm sure there's some heavy bragging rights on the line for that family. But two really good, young quarterbacks and great family. And it's going to be exciting to see him go head to head.
Vitas, we're going over to you again.
Coach, I noticed Cade Hall hasn't recorded a sack yet this year. How are defenses adjusting and maybe are they paying more attention to him, double teams, and that kind of opens up the chance for other guys?
I think Cade is the kind of player, if you watch that game on Saturday, there's no question how impactful he is. He is a tremendous player, great effort, great technically. He's in the backfield all the time. I think it's just a matter of time for him that way. I thought he shared a sack with Fehoko on Saturday. I could be wrong though. Yeah, he's getting more double teams. He's getting, their people are chipping him. People are, some of that trying to, and with that, certainly that gives other people a chance, right? If they're spending two people to block one, then that should give some other guys a chance to go one-on-one and hopefully win and get to the quarterback.
And then also on your defense, Nehemiah Shelton has 6 pass breakups. I know that he drew a tough assignment against USC, and until he started cramping up, he was doing a good job shutting down their top threat. And is he your shutdown guy? Is he the guy that you count on to put on the other team's best weapon?
I think so. I mean, Nehemiah's played a lot of football here. He's a good player. He's tough. He wants that assignment, all that stuff. And, I think, that's one of the hardest positions to play in all of sport because you're going backwards and the guy you're covering is going forwards, right? And, but Nehemiah is super competitive. He's a leader on the team. And, I'm glad he's playing for us. I think, I also think that Bobby Brown is really developing and coming along as a corner. He was a safety for us 2 years ago. I think you're starting to see some other people get into the mix there, which is exciting. But I think we feel really good about Nehemiah, his confidence. He's played so much football for us. And so you hope that over time, those reps, kind of stack and accrue and that it leads to better play.
And that last question, 8 sacks. I know you have to be a little bit perturbed by that. What did you see on film, and what is a commitment to Tyler Nevins maybe gonna ease the pressure on the quarterbacks this upcoming weekend and moving forward?
Well, anytime you give up a sack, it's a combination of the protection. So that's the O-line, the backs, and the tight ends, and then also the quarterback, right? And so some of those things came, on 3rd and long down and distance where we were, had to hold the ball a little bit longer and try and throw the ball down the field. And for starters, we just need to get into better down and distance, right? Like some of those things that happened to us last weekend, we were behind the chains after first down. And so then we're kind of playing catch up, and it puts us in situations where we have to hold the ball longer, which definitely that just leads to having to protect for longer. I also thought that Western Michigan had a good front, and I thought they executed well, and they were tough to block. And so, because our O-line had played so well through our first 2 games in terms of sack numbers, right? But I think it's good tape for us to look at, and it's good kind of the process of development of that group and getting them settled in. And, hopefully, we'll play better there on Saturday.
All right, final question. We're going to Jackson Moore. Go ahead. Jackson, you there?
Yes. Coach, just being back at home, it's been a while. Just how good is it going to feel to hopefully get the kind of environment that you mentioned in the home opener?
Oh, it's awesome. Isn't that crazy? We haven't played a home game in September, like the whole month. It's going to be great. I think our guys are excited. I'm excited. Those trips were long, and, you definitely felt that. And so I'm really, this is such a great environment, and for them to be at home, for us to be at home, and to get our crowd here, and just, I think, our administration's done a great job building out a game day that people are excited about and people want to engage in. And then in our home opener, I mean, part of the trouble with the home opener being, a month ago, was that all those students that were here and so fired up to be here, they haven't been to a game in a month, right? And so I hope we get that kind of turnout from our student body, because that was awesome. They were having a great time. They were going wild up there in the stands, and it was fun to have them here. So I'm hoping we get another great turnout like that. All right. Thank you all. Good seeing everybody.
All right, San Jose State at home this week, October 2nd on Saturday against New Mexico State. The game will be televised on NBC Sports Bay Area, and the coverage will begin at 7:30 right at kickoff. Our radio coverage, KTRB 860 AM, that will begin at 7 o'clock with the pregame show. Tickets are available at 408-924-7589 or sjsuspartans.com. Thanks, everybody, for attending. We'll catch you next week.